Alright guys, closing the patio in 5.
Yes, sir. So, where were we? We were just talking about the objectification of women. Now, the objectification of women is often touted as this horrible, morally objectionable thing that degrades women and that is socially unacceptable. And I was just talking about this article I read written by a woman scholar, female scholar. She would probably self-identify as a feminist. And her whole point was that, like, if pornography is really truly morally objectionable or ethically objectionable, it can't be so on the basis of its objectifying women. And her reason for that, she offered a very crazy historical reductio ad absurdum argument. And now reductio ad absurdum, if you don't know, if you're not hip to the lingo, basically what that means is like, you assume the opposite of the conclusion that you're trying to vindicate, and it lends to an absurdity, right? Something that couldn't possibly be true. So, and here's the way this thing went, right? The woman argued that in the Victorian era, because men were so suppressed that they weren't permitted to give their women a righteous dicking in bed, women would go to doctors and they would have instruments and or the doctor's hands inserted into their vaginas, which would cause them to have orgasms, right? And this was both, there's a psychological aspect to this because, the doctor wears this sort of mantle of authority that is intrinsically, sexually potent, right? Psychologically. But then there's this, the action of obviously stimulating the vagina. Now, one would go and they'd be cured of their sort of hysterical illnesses by these doctors finger banging them, finger fucking them. And the doctor would be acting purely in the capacity of an object or an instrument. You would smile, shake the woman's hand, express the utmost professionalism after causing her to orgasm, and everybody thought this was perfectly socially acceptable. And the rationale for it wasn't, of course, it was this completely distorted thing where it's it wasn't because the doctor was sexually pleasing the woman, it was because there's some physiologic reason. And this is completely ridiculous, obviously. But the point is that, there was nothing objectionable socially in this instance about the doctor fulfilling this role. As twisted and strange and repressive and as convoluted as the whole thing was, from our modern, enlightened, liberated perspective. So basically, anybody who tries to object to the objectification of women as if it's a categorically, malfeasant or morally ill thing is just completely fucking stupid. And there's obviously more, direct reasons for this as well. Among which are the propagation of the species, right? But that's what I got on that note. So anytime anyone tries to say that pornography is bad, for instance, because it objectifies women, you can remind them of Victorian era doctors finger banging their patients.
Light up the past just like a cigarette.